What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some Yo-Yo Ma. And indeed, this will be the first of many Yo-Yo Ma reactions. Now, over on my Patreon, I've reacted to twice, in fact. Once at the very beginning of my Patreon, and then once again more recently, a performance by Yo-Yo Ma and a music video, an accompanying music video of the prelude from Bach's Cello Suite, which is one of my favorite pieces, and certainly my favorite solo cello piece / movement. But yes, I reacted to that, and as I think I've mentioned in some other classical music reactions here on YouTube, Yo-Yo Ma was a cellist I heard a lot about and heard a lot of his performances growing up, because in the 80s and into the 90s he was one of the world's preeminent cellists, one of the most celebrated soloists, and my dad was a big fan, and so my dad had / has a number of Yo-Yo Ma CDs where he's the soloist, whether they be, cello concertos, cello suites, and so on. And so yes, I grew up a fan. Now, I never had a full sense of his career, and I'm still learning about it now. Big thank you to Yvonne, who provided the album we're going to start going through now, which is Yo-Yo Ma and the Silk Road Ensemble. More on that in a moment. And the album is from 2001, Silk Road Journeys. And also she provided Obrigado Yo-Yo Ma in Brazil, like a live performance. I don't know if I'm getting that title exactly right. Also some more classical Yo-Yo Ma. And as I said, we're going to start going through Yo-Yo Ma and the Silk Road Ensemble, Silk Road Journeys first. So the Silk Road Ensemble was a group that Yo-Yo Ma put together in the very early 2000s, dedicated to performing Eastern music that represents the historical Silk Road, which, if you didn't know, was like a trade route along which goods like spices and silk and other valued commodities were traded between far-flung societies in Central and Eastern Asia. And in fact, years ago, I had a CD, a classical music CD compilation that was called like Tunes from the Silk Road or something like that. And I haven't seen it in a while, so I don't know if I still have it. But yes, it was, like the steppes of Central Asia and, some of these famous pieces that are set in that world, across the landmass of Central and Eastern Asia. And the Silk Road Ensemble, used traditional instruments and singing and cello, and they recorded many albums, at least like a half dozen or so albums, if not more, between 2001 and the present, though in 2020, Yo-Yo Ma passed the directorship over to another performer. I don't know if he's also another cellist, but yes, ultimately in 2020, Yo-Yo Ma stepped down from being the leader of the Silk Road Ensemble, but he was the one who put it together in the first place and led it for roughly 2 decades. And yeah, I'm very excited to go through this album, and again, we've got a couple more. I wanted to also thank Vera, who sent me a 2-disc Yo-Yo Ma, or like the Essential Yo-Yo Ma, which I have in physical form, so we'll go through that. So bottom line, we've got plenty Yo-Yo Ma coming for the weeks, months, and years ahead, which I'm very excited about. And I'll finally learn more about and hear more of the catalog of this famous soloist who I knew as a kid, but only through some select CDs that my dad had. In any case, the first track on Journeys, or Silk Road Journeys 2001, is Mongolian Tradition Long Song. So my assumption is, given the word song, that this will be a vocal piece, maybe with cello and other instruments, because again, the Silk Road Ensemble, to the best of my understanding, uses a lot of traditional instruments from Asian and East Asian musical cultures, so I wouldn't be surprised if we hear Yo-Yo Ma's cello and or other instruments, but fundamentally I'm expecting this to be a vocal piece. And yeah, if it is sort of like an ethno-cultural piece that goes back, into tradition, centuries back, if not farther, then I would expect it to maybe be like a a pastoral song, like a song that a shepherd or a shepherdess might sing. So yeah, that would be my prediction in advance, though. I've heard some traditional Japanese music, some traditional Chinese music, and again, through that Silk Road compilation, motifs and musical themes that I think were derived from traditional Asian pieces. But as far as I know, I've never heard any Mongolian music, so yes, I don't quite know what to expect here other than, again, maybe it'll sound like a pastoral song. So let's give it a listen. This is the opening tune on Yo-Yo Ma and the Silk Road Ensemble's 2001 album, Silk Road Journeys, and the tune is called Mongolian Tradition Long Song. So yeah, that's basically what I expected. I didn't expect it to be a cappella, but yes, I believe that was just the vocalist's voice, and in that regard, it was more isolated than I expected it to be, but incredible. Her vocal control, there's these very quick pitch accelerations or increases. There was that one downward slope that she did after she had gone up very quickly. And there was one ramping up of the pitch where she went up and then like pushed it even higher, and that was truly incredible. And yeah, I don't know if you would technically call it vibrato, but it was a very agile vocal performance, lots of, waving, sort of quivering type of articulations in some of the lines, and yes, just a very dynamic vocal performance. And again, I'm assuming that's derived from Mongolian songs, or maybe one in particular that goes back centuries, and again, maybe was used in the setting of, nomadic, like pastoral herding or shepherding type of activities. So yeah, I do wonder the name of the soloist, and perhaps if I looked into the Silk Road Ensemble a little more, that might become clear. Although again, a group that's been around now like 25 years, you would expect that, vocalists and players, there'd be a bit of a revolving door over time. So yes, I'll have to see if I can figure out who that was. But either way, a stunning performance, and one that is different than traditional Japanese and Chinese singing that I've heard, and yet still in, again, that Central/East Asian style that I have heard in some different manifestations. So yeah, a great opener. I'm looking forward to the album. Thank you again to Yvonne, who, as I said, has provided multiple Yo-Yo Ma albums, and thank you again to Vera, who has provided the essential Yo-Yo Ma, though I would expect that to be, let's say, more traditional cello performing, which is further to say, like, again, concertos and sonatas and things like that. So either way, I'm looking forward to it all, and I'm excited to make Yo-Yo Ma a part of my YouTube at long last. So let me know what you think, and I will see you next time. Peace.